Let's dive into Wodonga's bus network, which is arguably the most complex bus network in Victoria. Wodonga is the smaller and perhaps densest city of the Twin Cities, with a population of around 40,000 people. Most neighbourhoods in the Wodonga urban area, that is Wodonga and West Wodonga alone, have a wide range of bus routes, but in many cases, most of these routes get very little patronage. Most of the routes in Wodonga use letters as route numbers. The letter is usually used to signal the destination the bus would go to, such as a certain street or a certain part of Wodonga, such as E being used for East Wodonga and G being used for the street Gayview Drive. There are two dedicated weekend routes in Wodonga, which use actual numerals. The weekend services are run by routes 150 and 160. Interestingly, the same weekend routes operate a single service at 5:45 p.m. from Wodonga Water Tower on weekdays. These weekend routes were introduced to serve as much of the community as possible, while having as few buses out as possible. It's not uncommon for multiple routes to travel on the same residential street as another Wodonga. It happens a lot in many places, but a great example is on Mayfair Drive. This particular street is served by four routes: Route M, which is the primary route on the street, as well as the Route G during peak periods, Route O, and the weekend Route 160, which ironically, as mentioned just before, also operates a single service on weekdays, though it's not explicitly mentioned in the timetable. There are many communities outside our Wodonga/West Wodonga urban area that have next to no access to public transport at all, let alone on a weekend. An example of this is in Killara, where as of the time this video was made, there is virtually no public transport access whatsoever, with the only thing close to it is school buses. The issue regarding the lack of public transport in Killara is somewhat well known across that community. The lack of a public bus route in the suburb has been mentioned at least twice by our local state MP, Bill Tilley, in 2022. It should be noted that this issue doesn't just surround Killara, it's also about Leneva and Barrenjoey. For those interested in reading Bill Tilley's speeches and the answers to his questions, I strongly recommend reading the Victorian Parliament Hansard linked in the description below, and you can find the answers there. There is also a clip on his website surrounding this issue which is downloadable. Since 2023, there is now a school bus linking Wodonga and Killara, but I'm not sure if the issue of school buses in Killara still exists. If you have something to say, please write in the comments below, or you can contact me via the links in the description. Take note about Barrenjoey. This small locality is a good example of a community that does have access to public transport, but opportunities to do so are very limited, with a bus that comes virtually every 2 hours with a few gaps on weekdays and no services on weekends. We also need to look at Wodonga Station, which briefly did have a shuttle bus connecting the station to the CBD from 2011, but it failed due to a lack of patronage. There is currently no bus connection at Wodonga Station. A good feature of Wodonga's bus network with having so many routes is that people have lots of choices of how they get around. However, the choices can be limited depending on the time of the week. During the week, Wodonga has 10 local routes, while Albury has 7, despite Albury being bigger than Wodonga. One reason is that it's because of the street layout where making direct bus routes was difficult, for I think it's a good idea to have lots of choices on how people get around. Another feature I like about Wodonga's bus network is that there is a bus route that is focused exclusively on West Wodonga only, and doesn't focus on bringing people to Wodonga CBD, which is the Route O, which serves the Western Park and Oakmont neighbourhoods. It starts and finishes at Burleigh only, with all services having connections to buses heading to Wodonga CBD. I personally think we need more routes like that in Wooga Wodonga, especially if we are trying to encourage people to go to the shops close to them to get what they need, rather than going to the CBD and make it congested. There are also a few unusual one-off services in Wodonga, such as the morning combined East and South Wodonga, and the direct service from Wodonga TAFE and La Trobe University to Albury via Gayview and Burralee. In my personal opinion, I think those two one-off services can be useful at other times. The one-off T service to Albury can link Burralee and Albury, while the morning East and South Wodonga can merge the East and South Wodonga routes together and create a merged loop that operates a clockwise and anti-clockwise service. The route is still technically two routes, but they follow the same route paths but in opposite directions. A lot of problems with Wodonga's bus network are fairly easy to solve by simply making the network map more easier to read, such as reducing long detours on some routes, such as the route M. A simple fix can be to redirect the route to run via Moorfield Park Drive and then travel onto Mayfair Drive, and there are many other routes in Wodonga that can benefit from this too. Wodonga's bus network currently operates 6 days a week, with most services starting at 7 am and finishing at just after 6 pm. Only just catering to 9 to 5 workers and daytime shoppers, whereas Albury's bus network not only caters for 9 to 5 workers and daytime shoppers, it also caters to people who fly to and from Albury during the day, as well as people who like going out on Thursdays and Fridays to watch a movie or eat out. As a result of this, the Albury routes have seen more patronage because its network accommodates the needs of the city, especially vulnerable members of our community, such as people who don't or can't drive.